blowing across from right toward left tonight. That's a little unusual. 50% humidity, so not all that bad. Braves 7-2 against the Phils this year and did sweep that series at the end of June and into July. They won the first game by a 1-run score, then beat them 11-1 in Game 2. Handled them pretty easily in Game 3, 5-2. But then Atlanta went to Washington and got beaten 2 out of 3 games up there. So they've got to take care of business tonight and then handle business as the rest of the schedule unfolds too, because Atlanta is running out of games and they interplay tonight 5 games back of the Phillies. And the Phillies enjoying a lead over not only the Phillies but the Florida Marlins. The Marlins are 4.5 back. Let's take a look at the Phillies batting order, brought to you by BB&T, the best bank in town since 1872. And they'll have a red-hot Jimmy Rollins at the top of the order, followed by Shane Victorino and Chase Utley. Ryan Howard's last 5 games, he's gotten on the stick too. A homer and 6 RBIs in those 5 games, followed by Raul Ibanez. Jason Worth, who is somewhat cold right now, you might say. His average really plummeting. Bottom third of the order, Feliz, Ruiz, and Blanton, the pitcher. Braves defense tonight as they take the field. Here's how they'll line up. Nate McLeod returns to the lineup tonight after nursing a tender hamstring. He'll be flanked by Garrett Anderson and Ryan Church. Third to first, it'll be Jones, Escobar, Prado, and Adam LaRoche. Brian McCann will do the catching. For Jair Jurgens, who makes his 25th start, 9-8, a 3.01 ERA. His ERA at night is 2.72. That's 9th best in the National League. He's pitched against the Phillies a couple of times this year and beaten them both times. He has not given up an earned run in 12 2/3 innings to the Phillies so far this year, and beat them 11-1 in that start on July 1st. One of his best performances of the year. 7 innings of 1 hit, 1 run, although it was unearned. Baseball, walked 4, struck out 6. Umpires for tonight's game. Behind the plate will be Doug Eddings. At first base, Brian Knight. Hunter Wendelstedt is at second base, and the crew chief, Dana DeMute, will work at third. JJ's last start, Chip, out in Los Angeles. He got no decision, actually got taken off the hook after a good rally by Atlanta. He only pitched into the 5th inning, gave up 7 hits and 3 walks and 5 runs. And his last couple of starts, both in August, have not been very good. 0-1 with a 7.71 ERA, including that start you're looking at right there. And last August he struggled. So combined with the 2 Augusts the last 2 years, he is 1-4 with an ERA over 6. Last year, remember, he hadn't pitched that many innings, and the Braves were concerned about overuse, and they started shutting him down late in the year. But hopefully his stamina will not be an issue as we start heading to the dog days.
And we're not there yet. We hope we don't get there at all, quite frankly,
yeah.
Because when you're in the dog days, that means you're not in the playoff hunt. And the Braves are in 2 different races, the East, of course, and the wild card as well. And we'll keep you up to date of what the Rockies and Marlins are up to as play gets underway tonight. As Jair Jurgens, as you saw, 143 innings so far this year, faces Jimmy Rollins to start the game for the Phillies. And that's always a good start. And this duo of Rollins and Victorino, partner, has been absolutely manhandled by this Braves pitching staff this year.
And I think that's why they're 7-2 against them. These 2 guys have not been getting on base. Rollins was really cold when they were here before.
Fly ball to left. Love it when Jimmy Rollins hits the ball in the air. Good start for Jurgens as Garrett Anderson makes the play for the first out in the top of the first inning.
To say these 2 guys have been handled by Atlanta is really an understatement. 9 for 78 combined are these 2 guys. That's almost unheard of. Rollins, however, has really heated up since we last saw the Phillies. Good to see him fly out on the first at bat of the night. And another guy who's hit poorly against Atlanta is Worth, down in the middle of the order, 3 for 25 on the year.
But Shane Victorino up next with the 9th highest batting average in the league, and not sure if he's wearing a waterproof uniform tonight.
Yeah.
How about that in Chicago the other day?
I thought it was hysterical.
Really?
He got hit with a beer as he was catching a fly ball.
No balls in a strike. That one's popped up, had him reaching on the infield. Chipper Jones is under it, and a 2-handed catch. Jurgens 2 quick outs.
I really did. I thought it was kind of whiny. I mean, just from personal experience in some road cities, having D-cell batteries whistle by my ear and golf balls, I thought a beer was kind of soft for a guy to be all upset about because he caught the ball.
But wouldn't you agree the Cubs fans took the "this buds for you" just a little far?
Maybe, and they ejected. Probably the guy wasn't even guilty of throwing the beer. They ejected the wrong guy.
Right.
But I thought it was funny.
No worse for wear was Victorino.
No.
He did make the catch. And you're right, the fan was finally caught when he turned himself in today, and he faces numerous charges in Chicago. But certainly a weird play, as you can always expect the strange in Chicago. Here's Chase Utley. Very consistent year for the Phillies second baseman. 23 home runs, 74 knocked in, and his average a tick below 300.
Here's something that you look at down in the order when you're keeping Rollins and Victorino off the bases. Utley's hit 3 homers, but he's driven in 5 runs total against Atlanta. Ryan Howard's only picked up 2 RBIs in 9 games against the Braves, and that's because there's not been anyone on base in front of him.
And we told you in the open, the Phillies have hit more home runs than any team in the National League coming in. You can live with solo shots, and none of them in the top of the first. 3 flyouts for Jurgens and a very good start. Joe Blanton to the mound for the first place Phillies in the first inning in Atlanta.
First, we go to the bottom half of the second. Let's take a look at the Braves starting lineup. Brought to you by BB&T, the best bank in town since 1872. McLeod Prado and a hot Chipper Jones at the top of the order. Chipper, a couple of homers in his last 4 games. Brian McCann's got to snap out of it, though. He's been cold. And Anderson, Escobar, and LaRoche. Ryan Church bats 8th, and Jair Jurgens bats 9th. On the mound, Joe Blanton, a guy who works fast, has very good control. 28 years old, big guy, 6'3", 250 out of Nashville, 7-6, but he has been very good lately.
And very consistent for this Philly club, Joe. 13 starts, 12 of them. He's allowed 3 runs or less for this Philadelphia club, but he has not enjoyed pitching against the Braves in his big league career, a trend certainly we hope continues tonight. Nate McLeod back with that sore hamstring, and he greets Blanton with an extra base hit into the right field corner. A little slow getting into second base, and was he reaching back at that leg? No, he wants Glenn Hubbard to get the protective pad on his right foot. Well, that was quick. Leadoff double and a good start to Atlanta first.
Well, Joe Blanton's seen this before. 3 starts against Atlanta this year. He's got an ERA of 8.5, and Nate McLeod, after a few days off, greets him. And let's check out his path to second base. I don't think he was letting it all out there, Chip, but got there okay.
Looked like he was really huffing and puffing, but he's in safely with an opening inning double for Martin Prado. Boy, an early run would be awfully nice against this club. And the Braves playing for one. See Martin foul it away for a strike. Very different offensive styles between the Braves and the Phillies. The Braves come in this year the 4th highest number of sacrifice hits in the league. The Phillies dead last. They play for the long ball. The Braves not as powerfully built as Charlie Manuel's club. So let's see if they can manufacture one here. And that one high and tight. Did it hit him?
Foul ball.
Foul ball as Prado is sent sprawling.
It certainly got Martin's attention. Ball rode up and in on him and got the bat, not the hand. And you can see it clearly there. Good shot of that.
That's some country hardball right there, folks. 0-2.
So 0-2. He's got to swing away and try to get him over. Joe Blanton's first 8 starts of the year, 8 starts were not very good at all. A 7 ERA plus. Last 13 have been very good. In fact, since July 5th, his last 6 starts, a 1.87 ERA, and that's 4th best in the National League.
Ground ball to short. Jimmy Rollins has been terrific defensively, and he handles his first chance cleanly. And Prado unable to advance McLeod to third. And now there's one out for Chipper Jones.
Joe Blanton fastball, 88 to 91, somewhere in that range typically. Curveball and a good one. Changeup in a very good one. His changeup's probably his best pitch.
Chipper Jones starting to heat it up. That's good news. 9 hits in his last 4 games, including a couple of home runs, bringing his total for the year to 15 now.
Come on, Chip.
Pitching Chipper, as you'd presume, very carefully here. 2 balls, no strikes, with, as you mentioned, a ice-cold Brian McCann on deck.
Yeah, Brian just 6 for his last 35.
Chipper not sure he went around, but that swing costs him a strike.
Thought it was a straight changeup that had him out in front a little bit, and yeah, he did.
Fisted up the middle, base hit. McLeod around third. Victorino loads up. Throw is off the glove of Howard. It's 1-0.
Well, they decided to pitch to it, Chip. I'm a little surprised with first base open and a cold hitter up next. But that fastball ran back over the middle of the plate. Target was inside. It was supposed to try and jam him, and they didn't get it done. Chipper has his 54th RBI. Again, we watch McLeod, who is tested right away on the double. And now coming home to score. Not 100% in my view.
But good enough to score the first run of the game for Brian McCann now. His average down to 287 with 12 homers and 56 runs batted in. The Braves playing so well after the break. And this club swinging the bat so well collectively. It seems like Bobby is reluctant to get Bryant out of the lineup much. Does that concern you at this point in the season?
A little bit. He needs days off, and he got one yesterday. I really expect him to come back tonight and do some more damage against Blanton. Days off this time of the season are certainly a welcome sight for catchers.
And the Braves have some more coming up. There's a double play ball. Utley to Rollins. On to Ryan Howard, and the side is retired. Chipper Jones, an RBI hit up the middle, gives Atlanta an early lead.
Injury report. Get the perfect balance of health and care at Piedmont Hospital, preferred health care provider of the Atlanta Braves. Visit PiedmontHospital.org. Tim Hudson returned to his rehab assignment last night. 4 innings, 2 earned runs. They both came in the first inning. Remember, it had been about 10 days since he had strained a groin muscle that prevented him from pitching consistently in his rehab assignments. After the first inning, he was lights out, pitched great. Looks like he'll have maybe one more, and then they'll make a decision on whether to activate him right away or not. But a good outing nonetheless at Gwinnett, and good news for him.
Braves would love to see Hudson get up around 90 pitches or so, as they contemplate getting him back either in rotation or bullpen. That certainly has not been sorted out yet, but no question about it. Getting a guy like Tim Hudson back for the stretch run is going to be a huge weapon for this Braves club.
Nobody would have as much quality starting pitching as the Atlanta Braves when he comes back.
And you need it against a guy like Ryan Howard. 27 homers, 85 driven in for the hulking Philadelphia first baseman, who snapped out of a 58 at bat homerless streak when he went deep at Wrigley Field last time out.
Big shift on for him. 3 guys on the right side of second base. Chipper playing shortstop.
And it's fisted right to him. One man down, Phillies second. Howard may have broken the bat. And here's Raul Ibanez. Ibanez also not really 100% in this second half. Remember, right before the break, Ibanez missed a long period of time with that very similar injury that has hit Tim Hudson, a groin problem. And the Phillies offense really struggled without him. Then when he came back right before the break and immediately after, this Philly ball club took off. Ibanez just 1 for 5 lifetime against Jurgens. Hasn't even counted.
Braves starting pitchers since the All-Star break. Check out these ERAs. When your highest guy's at 368, you know they're doing good work. Kawakami's last start was a beauty out in L.A.
1 ball, 1 strike. Slid right on by. And just when you think you have enough starting pitching, you go get more. And Exhibit A has to be the Red Sox. They thought they were set up for the year. They're not. So getting Tim Hudson back is a very, very nice problem to have.
Jair is getting ahead in the count and dictating to these guys so far. A lot of strike ones to the first 5 guys. All 5, in fact. It's a very good fastball hitting team, the Phillies, and you've got to, when you do get ahead, make sure you don't give in to them. Make them expand their strike zone and hit pitches they're not comfortable with. Comes a changeup.
And that's one of Jair's best pitches. And it's a beauty. It turns into a ground ball to second. Ibanez retired. 5 up, 5 down for JJ. Jason Worth steps in next.
Well, again, his line on July 1st here at Turner Field against the Phillies, 7 innings, 1 hit. He gave up 1 unearned run. He did walk 4 that night, but struck out 6.
So Worth, the last man in this 20-plus home run murderers row, foursome of Utley, Howard, and Ibanez, and of course Jason Worth for this Philadelphia team. 69 RBIs for him. Another first pitch strike.
You mentioned that hot streak they were on right before the break and right after. July was a good month for the Phillies. They went 20-7. Braves didn't play so poorly themselves, but they couldn't make up any ground because of the way they were playing, and that was their best July. 1890.
Wow. That's getting it done for Charlie Manuel's club. They are 4.5 in front of the Marlins at the start of tonight's play.
And while they had a good time in Chicago getting their bats going, this guy did not. He went 2 for 10 in that series, and he's just 7 for his last 37.
Well, he's another guy you hope stays cold for the next 3 days, because if he gets hot, he can really punish you in the lower portion of this Philly attack. And certainly your attention is justifiably paid to Rollins and Victorino and company. Guy's a good player that not a lot of folks know about outside of Philadelphia. And finally healthy and getting a chance to play every day with Charlie Manuel. And there's the first hit. And wouldn't you know it, that ball was crushed right back through the box.
Well, that'll make his hitting coach, Milt Thompson, happy. When a guy's struggling and he hits the ball back through the middle, it pleases everyone. Yeah, Worth's a good player and was very instrumental in their World Championship last year.
Originally drafted by the Orioles, then went to Toronto, the Dodgers, the Phillies signed him before the 2007 season as a free agent. He's extended through the 2010 season after a spectacular year for them last year. Here's Feliz, the third baseman. He's hit 9 homers and knocked in 59 men.
Braves, as I said, had a good month of July themselves. They went 16-11 and lost 4 games in the standings to the Phillies. That's how good they were.
Breaking ball off the plate to the Phillies third baseman, who's been battling some back issues this year. Jurgens an early lead on a Chipper Jones hit that chased home Nate McLouth. Hard hit ball caught at third by Chipper. He channels his inner Brooks Robinson to make that play to his right. A fine play to retire the side, and Mr. Feliz of the Phillies. It's a 1-0 Atlanta score.
There's a bouncing baby boy, and check out the hands and feet on that guy. Woo! He's a big one. How about this play? Nice hands on this guy, too. Chipper Jones and Yunel Escobar really tightened up the defense on the left side in the second half. First half combined, they made 24 errors. This half, the second half, since the All-Star break, only 2 errors, 1 each by Chipper and Escobar.
That's an encouraging trend, too, as the Braves make their postseason push. And the second inning starts with Garrett Anderson, who's batting .286 with 10 home runs this year.
boy. Come on, Garrett.
Garrett's got a shot at getting to the 2,500 hit plateau before the season's over. He's 37 hits away from that.
Here's the good changeup. Blanton came over from the A's at the trade deadline last year, went undefeated for the Phillies, pitched great for them, and then pitched well in the postseason.
Fly ball, pretty well hit. Worth broke in, now sprinting to his right, tracks it down, and makes a fine play.
And with one out, fans, it's time for the know-how question of the game, built by the Home Depot. If you have a question for us tonight, send us an email, and if chosen, we'll answer it later in the game. Send your email to braves@peachtreetv.com, and please tell us your name and where you're from. And remember, more saving, more doing. That's the power of Home Depot.
Speaking of power, that's what Yunel Escobar has provided this ball club since moving to the number 6 spot in this Braves batting order. I'll tell you what, with Martin Prado hitting second and this man hitting 6th instead of Kelly Johnson down in the order and Escobar second, this offense looks much deeper and much more potent.
Bench is better too because of it with Kelly over there. And keep in mind too that when the Phillies were in town in late June and into July, Escobar was hurt. Kelly was hurt. McCloud was also injured at the time. So the Braves were playing very short-handed in that series and yet won all 3 games.
And a dramatic turnaround this year for Atlanta at home, head-to-head with the Phillies, who swept them in 9 games in this ballpark last year. That was catastrophic when it came to last season's division run.
He's now hitting 400 in the 6th spot in the order. So as you said, Chip, he likes this spot. And with his ability to hit with runners in scoring position, he's really flourished there.
And he splits up the left-handed bats of LaRoche and Anderson, and he tries to split the gap in left center field. Victorino still going, tracks it down.
One of the things that's probably fun for Victorino and Worth, Jason Worth especially in this ballpark playing here, is they actually can run back and to their right a little bit and make a catch. In their ballpark they can't. That ball that Worth tracked down off the bat of Anderson is probably a home run in Philadelphia. And Victorino can flag him down to any ballpark in any part of the park with his speed.
Stay dry, just for the record. Here's LaRoche. Boy, has Adam been a welcome addition offensively to this Braves lineup. All he's done is pound out 13 hits in 35 at-bats since putting on a Braves uniform again.
Funny thing too, talking to people from the Philadelphia Phillies, as you see his 2-home-run game a couple of days ago. They're saying, you know, the Braves picked up LaRoche and McCloud and Church, and they're all Phillies killers when they were with other clubs.
I wonder if that went into the scouting report for Frank Grant.
I don't know.
But LaRoche and Kochman, Casey Kochman, very similar players. Not with a lot of great speed, both terrific glove men. I think it's fair to say that Kochman is a better average hitter. LaRoche more of a power hitter.
And the Braves needed some power.
And a bullet hit to right field. 14th hit for LaRoche since coming over from the Red Sox. And an 0-2 mistake hit hard by Adam LaRoche.
Another fastball that tailed back over to the middle of the plate. That's very similar to the pitch to Chipper Jones that he lined to center for the RBI. It's almost a case of too much movement for Blanton at this point.
Ryan Church batting with 4 homers and 32 knocked in. Letter high strike. Marlins have jumped in front of the Rockies. That's a 2-0 score in the 3rd inning of play.
I guess the Cubs were happy to see the Phillies leave town. They beat Pittsburgh today 17-2.
Man, liner foul. Yeah, the big Chicago Air Show doesn't start till tomorrow. You wouldn't know it by 18 hits today. Derek Lee drove in 7 for the Cubs as they clubbed Charlie Morton.
He's been doing some cloud seeding.
Yeah. Charlie gave up 10 runs in an inning today.
Boy. All right.
That's not good for the ERA. I'll tell you right now, it's not good.
Were you a math major at Oklahoma?
I was.
I'll tell you what, that's pretty good. I know that. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Quantum.
Out of play, foul.
Oh, big guy.
One of the things that Ryan Church has done since he put on a Braves uniform is really give Bobby Cox some good at bats. And batting 8th, he will work the count.
Pops his pitch up on a 1-2 count. Into shallow left center. It's Victorino making the play. And that'll do it for Atlanta in the 2nd inning. Up a run.
Shifting gears, we go to the top half of the 3rd inning. It's time to take a look at the SunTrust Solid Performers, brought to you by SunTrust. Live solid, bank solid, SunTrust. And the category tonight, the fewest home runs allowed in the National League. Braves at the top of that list with only 77 having been allowed, and a good margin between them and the 2nd place Dodgers. Jair Jurgens has allowed only 10 this year in 145 innings.
That makes your pitching coach very happy.
He's smiling on the inside.
Yes. And that's the only way you'd know with Mr. McDowell. As Carlos Ruiz goes to work, and the catcher takes a called strike. Jurgens has been awfully tough against Ruiz, just 1 for 12 as he at the plate.
Like Worth, he's been struggling some lately too, but especially on the road. Ruiz enters this series hitting only a $192 away from Citizens Bank Park.
Towering fly ball to straightaway center. JJ's using the air an awful lot in this game.
Yeah, the first inning the balls were hit pretty hard too, which was a little bit of concern, but his changeup is causing a lot of pop-ups. Guys getting out on their front foot and getting under the ball. That's 8 first pitch strikes to the first 8 batters.
Let's see if he can make it 9 for 9. You bet. Joe Blanton, the pitcher, just 2 hits and 34 at bats this year. The Phillies will tell you he's just hitting exceptionally bad luck.
What's his average?
0.59.
Bingo.
0-2.
All I know is he weighs 250 pounds and he's got a bat in his hand, so anything could happen if you make a mistake.
Well, he's a very, very important piece to this Phillies puzzle. With all the left-handers they have in their rotation, they need Blanton to be a right-handed presence. And as we showed you, he has been that, not with the stick, but with his dizzying array of pitches.
Especially here in the second half. He was good in the second half last year, and he's really been good. As I said, a 187 ERA in his last 6 starts, and they need him to be good because they have great power. You know they score a lot of runs. Their bullpen is not real good like it was last year. Brad Lidge has shown that he's human. They've got some injuries down there, so the pressure's on their starting pitching.
Jimmy Rollins hits it in the air again and again to Garrett Anderson. And 10 straight hitters have seen a strike from Jurgens, and he leads by a run. Hit a homer this inning. Visit PeachTreeTV.com/Braves for official rules and enter for your chance to win. AirTran Airways, go. There's nothing stopping you.
That's the 805 to Philly right there.
Quite frankly, I'm glad I'm not on that flight.
Glad I'm right here with you.
You got it. Here's Jurgens. First pitch strike to him. As we open up the home half of the third inning, JJ a 152 hitter. Look at him bust down the line. Rollins has to hurry and just did get it. Boy, you love to see that. Great effort for Jurgens trying to sniff out an infield hit.
And how many times do you hear Bobby Cox, when a pitcher hits a ground ball, Bobby will yell, easy, easy, to make sure they don't hurt themselves. You didn't hear it this time because he knew the way Jurgens could run, he might have a chance to beat it out.
So JJ retired. Nate McLeod doubled early in the count and scored on Chipper's first inning base hit.
Nate.
Didn't have a great road trip out west, but he was 5 for 22, but he drew some walks, played good defense, missed the last couple of games in LA because of that hamstring, but played well. It's just that his numbers didn't show as well as he swung the bat.
Off-speed pitch launched again to center. Victorino on the run, slowing now.
Joe Blanton, excuse me, Tibbs, just happy he's pitching in Atlanta tonight. His numbers against the Braves this year, 3 starts. He's 0-1 with an 8.5 ERA, and lifetime 0-1 in 4 games. But if he were pitching in Citizens Bank Park tonight, Braves would already have at least a couple, if not 3 home runs.
There you see his record against Atlanta this year. In 4 career starts, 18 earned runs coming into tonight's play in 19 innings. But as we said, he's on quite a roll. 13 starts, 12 of those 13, 3 runs or less that he has allowed.
And we were talking about Jair's numbers in August not being very good. Blanton's career numbers in August are very good. He's 10-6 with a 2.80 ERA.
Fisted into center. Victorino can't get there. Prado a blue hit. Would that qualify as a flare?
That would definitely be a Ric Flair. And if Shane Victorino had caught that, we were going to give him the Gold Glove right now.
Yeah.
He's catching everything on the warning track and hit in front.
So our first Ric Flair of the night goes. So Chipper can't be first, but he can be next in this 3rd inning of play. RBI single in the 1st inning. And they're going to try to jam him. And that ball missed its spot by about 1.5 feet.
All right, then.
That's into the left center field gap. Victorino plays it cleanly there at the corners with 2 out.
Good hitting, good defense. Anybody else out in center field, there's a good chance that Prado scores first on this because it gets by him. Ran the ball away from Chipper this time, and he takes it the other way. But look at Victorino hustle over to cut this ball off and not only keep Prado from scoring, but keep Chipper at first.
Aren't you glad that Chris Farley isn't among that group?
I am very glad, but I welcome it just to see him again.
Yes, that's a good point. 1st and 3rd with 2 outs for McCann. He's thinking about a home run.
Here's something that showed up in the first at bat about McCann's recent trials and tribulations, in that he has really expanded his strike zone. He has a good knowledge of the zone, willing to take a walk, but he's been hacking at a lot of pitches that haven't been strikes. And once he gets his eye back and gets a few counts in his favor, you'll see him heat up again.
Is that a function of fatigue?
No, I think it's a function of him being unhappy with his swing right now.
Fly ball off the end of the bat. Worth will catch that. The Braves strand a pair in the 3rd inning of play. Our Airtran Airways home run inning of the game. No winner tonight. But register at PeachTreeTV.com/Braves for the
Atlanta as we go to the top of the fourth inning. Time for tonight's Toyota Tacoma trivia question. Truck always delivers the question. When was the last full season that the Braves had no player hit 20 home runs with the Braves? 20 or more. So that does not include any strike-shortened seasons. Right now, the high on the team belongs to Adam LaRoche with 16, and of course he didn't hit them all with Atlanta. For the Braves, players that have been here all season, the high is Chipper with 15.
Shane Victorino starts off the fourth inning for the Phillies, and 11 hitters faced by Jurgens, 11 first pitch strikes.
Outstanding.
Victorino popped up for the second out in the game's first inning tonight. And Jimmy Rollins just 4 for 42 against the Braves this year. Victorino now 5 for 39 against the Braves pitching staff. That goes a long way toward a 7-2 record head-to-head with the defending world champs.
The 20 home run thing would not include either one of those MVP seasons of Dale Murphy. But I think it goes back before that. I'm going to guess in the 70s.
No
70,
balls.
77 or so.
When Sarge was here. Biff Pocarova, Rob Belwa, Willie Montañez, Braves teams. Then again, it could also be one of those trick questions where it never happened. We'll see. First the 1-2 pitch. Had him off stride. Shallow right center field. It drops for Victorino. A leadoff hit. Well, that's what you don't want to have happen with the beasts coming up now. Utley and Howard, a fast runner aboard in a 1-0 game.
Yeah, but it's a good pitch. It's almost exactly the same pitch that he popped up to Chipper on in this first at bat. Down, and he just kind of golfed it out in the shallow right.
Victorino has very good speed. He's 17 out of 24 in stolen bases this year. Let's see how Utley approaches his second turn against Jurgens. Driven deep right field. That's trouble. And it's more than that. It's a 2-run homer on the first pitch. It's a first pitch strike, but it's a first pitch momentum changing swing by Chase Utley.
And it might be something that Chase Utley had paid attention to, or Milt Thompson, about first pitch strikes. But the problem with it is that it was belt high. That short, quick stroke of Utley, and he just doesn't miss mistakes like that. That's his 24th homer.
And 4 of them have been against the Braves. So 2-1 Philadelphia with nobody out, and Ryan Howard out. That quiets a big crowd at the ballpark momentarily. First pitch strikes in a row.
Yeah, and threw him an off-speed pitch to start him, assuming he was going to hack at the first one.
Howard, the fastest man in baseball history to 200 home runs in his career. Ralph Kiner was the man that held that record before Ryan Howard. But Atlanta has not allowed him to add to that total at all this year.
That's huge in their record against them, too.
Well, he's been in a real homer rut, as we mentioned, 58 at bats without one. And Charlie Manuel said it's real simple. He's pulling his head off the ball. He's not swinging at strikes. And this Philly club has really been a roller coaster team the last couple of months, not just the last couple of series.
Well, they had that good July we showed you record-wise, but they will go into some ruts where they Coming in here, they'd lost 6 out of 10 despite the 3-game sweep of the Cubs.
Yeah, they were swept by the Marlins. That allowed Florida to keep back in the race. As Jurgens thought he got the corner, didn't get the call. Full count to Howard.
Escobar and Chipper thought he did too. They were already moving to their right to go back to their positions. Pretty good pitch.
Again, the shift on for Ryan Howard. 2-1. Phillies have the lead. And 3 straight hitters have reached in this 4th inning. Second time through. A lot tougher for Jurgens tonight.
They are number 1 in the league in home runs. They have 158 home runs as a team. Colorado is next closest with 131. And that means their percentage of runs that come from homers is extremely high, second only to Texas in Major League Baseball.
We'll see how that plays come playoff time if the Phillies are fortunate enough to earn their way into the 2009 postseason.
Now, a lot of time that good hitting gets negated by excellent pitching in the postseason.
Braves play behind Howard at first base, not expecting him to run, but he is 5 for 5 in stolen bases this year.
Keep your eye on him, and he'll go first to third on you too.
Howard in excellent shape, lost about 20 pounds this offseason. Is a giant of a man as he leads from first for Ibanez. And 3 pitches takes care of him. Second strikeout for Jurgens. First out of the 4th inning. Now a double play ends the inning.
Best fastball of the night, 94. With some tailing action too. First earned runs allowed by Jurgens to the Phillies this year in 15 innings, 15 plus.
So Worth greets JJ. He hit a seed right back to the middle his first time up.
It's 15 straight first pitch strikes.
And Utley's such a smart hitter. Wasn't going to allow himself to get down 0-1, was he?
No. And got a belt-high fastball that he clocked.
Worth comes from a terrific athletic family. His grandfather was Ducky Schofield, who played 19 years in the big leagues. His uncle Dick Schofield played 14 years. His stepdad Dennis Worth played 4 years, and his mom Kim Schofield Worth was in the U.S. Olympic trials in the long jump and 100 meters. Now we know where he got his speed from, because he covers a lot of territory. Out of Springfield, Illinois. It looks high, ball 2. Ryan Church will give chase in right, but he will not have a play.
This series and the one down in Florida are really unique for the Braves and the Marlins in that they can gain ground on 2 teams. The Braves can gain ground on the Phillies if they win. The Marlins are playing Colorado. No matter who loses there, Atlanta could gain ground on them in the wild card or in the division. And the same holds for Florida. So Florida can distance themselves from Atlanta or gain some ground on the Phillies, depending on who wins or loses here.
And I would guess from the Braves standpoint, ideally they'd like to see the Marlins and the Braves win tonight. But obviously,
I like the division. I like thinking about climbing over Florida and going after these guys.
Well, I do too, but you don't face Colorado again.
No.
3 balls, 2 strikes. You do have a lot of games head-to-head with the Marlins in which you can control your own destiny. But if you don't win your division, obviously, the next race is the wild card, and you will need some help in that race.
But I've always felt like the wild card is your second thought, is your second consideration. And that's why I'd like to see Colorado sweep them, and then have the Braves sweep the Phillies and get that much closer to the top of the division. And then because you have those other teams, Florida and Philadelphia, with a lot of games left, head-to-head, you can take care of them.
Ground ball, base hit right field by Worth on a nifty inside-out swing. And stopping at second is Ryan Howard. That's the 3rd hit of the inning for the Phillies. And 2 are on with 2 men out.
And the second good at bat for Jason Worth, who has been scuffling, as we said. Took one up the middle his first time up, and then really shortened his swing here. Look how he cuts this swing off to go to right field. Fastball in on him a little bit, but he wasn't trying to pull the ball. If you're trying to get out of a slump, it's a good thing to do, to try to cut down your swing, and he did.
You see the HK patch above that blue Phillies star. That's in memory of their Hall of Fame broadcaster, Harry Callis, who passed away earlier this year. And a line drive off the bat of Feliz is yanked into the Phillies bullpen foul. That was hit a ton. And another first pitch strike as the Phillies third baseman 0-1.
Yeah, that first pitch strike thing would be a little overrated if they're sitting on a fastball down the middle.
Yep.
As Chase Utley was. Got to mix up your pitches there.
One ball, 1 strike. You saw the division standings for the Braves coming in to tonight's play. First pitch, ground ball to third. Chipper's got it. There's 1, and there's 2. Pitcher's best friend, double play off bat of Pedro Feliz. And 16 straight hitters have seen strike 1, but Chase Utley's strike left the ballpark, and the Phillies enjoy a 2-1 lead.
Top by a run now. Time for the answer to tonight's Toyota Tacoma trivia question. The last full season that the Braves had no player hit 20 or more homers, I'm saying 1977.
I'll say it's never happened.
76. That's the spirit. Jimmy Wynn had 17.
And think about it. They played across the street at the launching pad.
Yeah.
Garrett.
I'll tell you something about 76.
Garrett Anderson, the hitter, he takes a first pitch strike. Garrett fly to right his first time up. 12 straight years Anderson has hit 10 or more home runs. There aren't many guys on this team who are better at tomahawking a high fastball than this guy.
No, sir.
Bobby has used the term so many times that Garrett is a truly professional hitter. Terrific approach. Foul line to foul line, and just enough power. He bounces this one to Howard. Oh, funny hop, and he stuck with it. Tough play, and a good play for the first out.
That ball hit and then just hugged the ground. And Howard was expecting a nice big high hop from that, but didn't get it, stayed with it. Nice play.
Howard's defense much improved this year. 8 errors this season after 19 at first base last year. And their third base coach, Sam Perlazzo, worked with him for a month and a half, totally rebuilding his game defensively, and it has paid off. A 1-2 Yunel Escobar. He is 0 for 1 on a fly out to center. Braves get a look at one of the 2 Philly right-handers in rotation tonight, Joe Blanton. They will not see Pedro Martinez in this series, as Feliz played that ball off to the side, and that's got to be an error.
I would think the normally sure-handed Pedro Feliz even got a good hop, a little bit of an in-between hop, but decided to play it to a backhand here instead of getting in front of it. It came up a lot higher than he thought. Hit his bare hand. Otherwise, it gets down the line. It might have been a double.
A play like that may have ended the season for Adrian Beltre of the Mariners last night.
Rotate.
He's coming back from shoulder surgery, but Beltre does not play with a protective cup and was hit with a batted ball last night and maybe lost for the year.
Got to be kidding me.
Here's LaRoche.
Not that he's out for the year, but that he's so foolish not to play with one.
It was uncomfortable, he said.
I wonder how his comfort level is today.
Everybody has the same. I had 3 people at the same time. You, Hal, and our producer Scott Cockle saying, "How's he feeling today?"
Yeah. Good point. Well, let's see if LaRoche can be a Philly killer and drive one out of here to right. Thought about it. 2-2.
Blanton 3-3 on the road, 4-3 at home, but 22 home runs allowed this year. Check and see how many of those have been given up at home, but certainly a hitter-friendly ballpark at Citizens Bank Park.
Adam went fishing, and he's down on strikes. 2 outs. That's the first Blanton strikeout as he elevated baseball to retire the Braves' first baseman.
15 of those at home. Thanks to Hal Galena for that info.
Think during this game about running against Blanton. He's awfully tough to try to steal a base against. Hasn't allowed a steal in 8 straight games. Braves aren't much of a running team, as we know. Just 41 steals as a club coming into tonight's play. And a liner over third. That's going to chase Escobar around. On his way to third. They're going to green light him. Ball gets away from Ibanez, and the game is tied at 2.
A little bit of a high fastball. It looked like that he fought off. I don't know what happened to Ibanez in the corner, but good hustle by Escobar. They wanted the target high, but it was again out over the plate. Those mistakes made tonight by Blanton have been out over the plate. Ball kind of died when it came off the wall. It just didn't come all the way to Ibanez, who was ready to cut it off. But there's Ryan Church again, doing some damage in the 8th spot this time.
ties the game, and good teams take advantage when another team makes a mistake. Remember, it was an easy ground ball to third, botched by Feliz, that allowed Escobar to reach in the first place. So Jurgens now with a hit could give himself a 3-2 lead. And it seemed like, partner, last year, every time the Braves made even the tiniest of errors, the Phillies jumped on it and scored 3 times.
You're absolutely right, and they also won a lot of games late from the 7th inning on. When they won all the games played here, they won a bunch of them late.
Church has very good speed as JJ waits a 1-2 pitch, and now it's 2-2.
Might remember that drop pop-up by Kelly Johnson, the 2 out in the 9th inning last year that led to a Phillies win.
Do I have to?
No.
Little pop fly, Utley twisting and turning like a tornado, but Worth, a fine defensive play is there, and that retires the side. Braves get an unearned run on E5 and a double into the left field corner. 2-2 our score. Good ball game tonight in Atlanta.
Jamison Inns and experience our new Pillow-Top premium beds and the best in Southern hospitality. Jamison Inns, you deserve a new deal.
Not a better seat than that one, huh? As you look out at the beautiful skyline of downtown Atlanta, perfect baseball night for game 1 of our weekend set with the Phillies. Braves have battled back to tie it. Now the lower portion of the order up for Jair Jurgens, who has yet to throw ball 1 on a first pitch in this game tonight.
27 pitches last inning, though. Costly.
Carlos Ruiz flied out his first time up.
As you hear Doug Eddings ring out his calls tonight, he's had a lot of them, especially on the first pitch. It sounds like he's kind of saying hike instead of strike.
Well, it's almost football season, right? Was he a quarterback?
Jerry Neudecker was an umpire in the major leagues for many, many years, primarily in the American League. And I swear his call third strike sounded a lot like take a hike.
Just what you want to hear when you make a left turn. But don't you miss the demonstrative different calls of the umpires that were so emblematic of the 80s? Dutch Rennert going to a knee and pointing as he made his strike call. Frank Pulley with that overhand right, quick jab. I mean, that was half the fun of watching the game, is watching the umpire put on a show back there.
Pulley would almost do a 360 spin as he was throwing that jab.
Yeah. I think it's Tom Hallion who does it in reverse. On his called third strike, he reaches with his right hand down to his left and then pulls and then twists and points his chest up to the sky. I mean, it's
like a left-handed home run swing.
Yeah. A lot of fun to watch those guys when you've got a good game, and good one going tonight. Little flare to right. Easy play for Church. Ruiz 0 for 2. Pitcher up, Joe Blanton with the bases empty.
One thing you'll also notice about Doug Eddings behind the plate, something I like, and we've talked about umpires that at times take themselves out of position to call strikes because of the way the catcher moves. He sets up and he doesn't move. Doesn't matter where Brian McCann goes, he stays right there.
And from that position, it looks parts like he can see both sides of the plate.
Well, he's right behind the point of the plate. He's in excellent position.
Blanton struck out his first time up. And quickly down to his last strike in this fifth inning. In the old days, the American League umpires used the balloon protector. Big outside chest protector sat right over the top of the catcher. As Blanton is down on a wicked curveball.
Boy, Joe just missed that one, didn't he?
Yes. He homered in the World Series?
Yeah, he did. He hit a home run against Tampa Bay. Right here he was taking and then decided, no, I'm swinging.
We shall not taunt him, however, because it's a tie game. Here's Rollins 0 for 2. 2 flyouts to left.
Okay, we shan't.
That was in honor of my grandmother. Did you have a grandma that said funny sayings that just drove you crazy?
Yes. Yes, I did.
Examples?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Right center field. Church is not going to get that. That'll bounce off the fence. Rollins might be thinking 3. Nope. He'll pull up with a 2-out double, and he's in scoring position for Victorino.
Going to give up a hit to him, even an extra base hit. Good that it's with 2 outs, and we'll take a 2-out hit to score him. Yeah, my grandmother would go out and work in the garden. She said that it was so hot outside that she got blistered. Wasn't ever sunburned.
No. Blistered. Victorino bats. He has singled and scored ahead of Utley's home run. And it's 20 in a row for Jurgens, by the way. Mine, whenever my family, siblings, and I would get into a little tussle, birds in their little nests agree. It is a shameful sight when 2 birds of one family fuss and chide and fight.
I wanted to decorate.
Tired of hearing that one, didn't you?
Whatever, birds in there, and that was it. I was out the door.
No balls, 2 strikes.
He elevated that. Victorino was able to elevate that changeup last time up and get it into right field. Let's see if they try something different ahead in the count here.
Strike 3 on a fastball, and Victorino can't believe it. Looking for the local, got the express. Rollins left stranded at second in a 2-2 game.
was right there and had a great view of it.
What was Victorino arguing about? The reach?
I guess the fact that he had to reach back for it and make a backhanded catch, but it's right down the middle.
So Nate McLeod starts off the Atlanta fifth. Tie game 2-2. McLeod from the Braves scored first in the first. Nate doubled early in the count, scored on Chipper's first of 2 hits tonight. And McLeod has another hit.
He's not running good at all, Chip. I mean, he's a guy that really busted down the line and kind of put some pressure on the defense on hits like that, and he was very much 3/4 going down the line. See right there, he is making sure that he doesn't overdo it.
So you don't figure him to be doing any running with that balky leg?
I wouldn't think so. Hit and runs at best.
And Prado can shoot the ball through the right side, as you know. Martin tonight 1 for 2.
As you watch Blanton here with a fast runner at first, one of the reasons you'll notice that they don't get good jumps is that he is so quick to the plate. Not only does he work fast, but his step to the plate is very fast.
Bunt popped up, and only one play. High throw, but Utley is there. That's sacrifice. Prado couldn't get a bunt down in the first inning. Does get one down here in the 5th inning for Chipper Jones. Braves baseball on Peachtree TV in HD, brought to you by the Georgia Aquarium. There's always something new at the world's largest aquarium. Visit georgiaaquarium.org. Jimmy Rollins in to talk to Blanton. They've pitched to Chipper twice, and he's hurt him twice.
He's gone up the middle. He's gone to left center. Let's see if they try to keep the ball in on him a little bit this time.
One ball, no strikes. Keep in mind, again, the leg of McLeod. Victorino throws well. Worth throws well. The ball's hit hard right at an outfielder. Brian Snitker really has to think long and hard about sending McLeod home here. As Chipper rolls to the right side, runner to third. But there's your second out. Brian McCann hits.
Chipper went after it. Looked like a bad ball there. Either that or it was the changeup that was so good it was well disguised and had him fishing for it.
Well, the Braves have Blanton right where they want him. 2 outs with a runner in scoring position, and none have been much better than Brian McCann in this spot.
Well, let's see how Brian approaches this, and he's been very antsy. But will they throw him a first pitch strike?
They did, and he hammered it straight away center. Victorino back to the infield at the wall, leaps and makes the grab.
Wow. What a play. They tried to jam Brian and they left it over the plate and he hit it 400 feet, but caught. What a play again by Victorino. He's been the story of the game so far for Philadelphia, his defense.
Star of this game, running from pillar to post in the outfield and robbing Brian McCann of an extra base hit just a moment ago to send this game to the 6th inning, tied 2-2. Utley, Howard, and Ibanez are coming up. And that's the first batter in this game that has seen ball one on the first pitch tonight.
And no surprise there after he homered on the first pitch his last time up.
Not only power, but productive power. Not only he'll hit some solo home runs, but with Rollins and Victorino on in front of him, this guy is a lock to hit a century mark in runs batted in. And only 3 second basemen in the history of the game have knocked in 100 runs in 4 straight years. Utley joins Jeff Kent and Charlie Gehringer.
Jeff Kent's a Hall of Famer, isn't he?
For me, he is.
Yeah. Me too.
I'm not as much a purist as I guess some others are. I think if you're a dominant player in the era in which you played, you deserve to go to the Hall of Fame.
Especially at his position.
No question. There's a strike, 2-2 to Chase Utley. E2 just wants to know where Doug Eddings is calling that outside pitch. McCann will go out there, but he made a good pickup. Eddings has his head right behind the point of the plate. Good look at both the inside and the outside edge of the strike zone. And Utley down swinging. Boy, you don't see a swing like that from Chase Utley very often, do you?
There's a little bit of payback for the home run. Got him chase a change up that was dying off the corner. Like the call before, and he may have stayed in his head a little bit, thinking about that instead of the next pitch.
What a lonely feeling it must be as a hitter to know when a changeup is coming and still you can't do anything with it. As Howard stands in, he's lined out and walked. Shift on and a ball high. 1 ball, no strikes. 2-2 game.
First time he's been to a 2-0 count on anyone.
And that ball, a top spin, 1-hop rocket to second.
Sort of second base.
Yeah, well, yes. Maybe the rover spot.
Yeah. How deep Martin is with the shift on. And from shallow right field, he throws him out.
Here's Ibanez, 37 years old. Free agent signed by the Phillies to a 3-year deal to replace Pat Burrell in their outfield. He's been an upgrade in every single facet of this Philly offense.
They gave him a ton of money, too, and everybody looked at Ruben Amaro like he was crazy, especially given Ibanez's age, but he has paid dividends so far.
27 home runs, second highest total he's ever hit in the big leagues. In 2006, in a gigantic ballpark in Seattle, he had 33 home runs and drove in 123 runs for the Mariners. And he's got an excellent chance of flying past all of those run totals this year.
What a difference a ballpark makes for a guy like him.
And it took him a long time to really be an everyday player. His first taste of the big leagues was 1996 with Seattle. Didn't become an everyday player until the 2002 season, and that happened in Kansas City for him. Then he went back to Seattle from 2004 through 2008. And in those last 4 seasons, hit 20 home runs or more in every one of those campaigns.
Well, and I stand corrected. He's actually hit more home runs on the road than he has at Citizens Bank Park. Only 11 of the 27 at home.
0-2. It's in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Do you think people will assign the same kind of reputation to the Phillies hitters with regards to their ballpark that some do with Colorado and the Rockies?
I think we've all tried, but they kind of dispel that. Ryan Howard's another good example of that. Ryan Howard's career home run totals split evenly right down the middle. So while we think of Citizens Bank Park as a bandbox, which it is, doesn't mean the Phillies only do damage there.
Ground ball, past the mound, Prado to his right. And Jurgens works a perfect 6th, blazing through Utley, Howard, and Ibanez in a tie game.
Brought to you by Airtran Airways. Go. There's nothing stopping you. If you like logos and different sites for games, we got them for you. Big Fox tomorrow at 4 o'clock. ESPN 8 o'clock on Sunday night. Makeup game Monday on Fox Sports South. Boog and I will have that one for you at 4 o'clock. And then next Friday, our next Peachtree game, when the Braves come back from New York, they'll take on the Marlins at 7:30. Hope you'll make your plans to be with us.
Big stretch for the Braves, who play a ton of divisional games the rest of the way, which is what you want. You control your own destiny. 8 more with the Phillies. Got the Marlins in your sights as well. And that 3-game set with the Mets, another very important setup for this Atlanta ball club.
Especially the last half of September. Last half of September, beginning with the 15th. 3 games at home with the Mets, 3 at home with the Phillies. Go on the road, 3 with the Mets, 3 at Washington. Finish the season at home, 3 with Florida, 4 with Washington.
Like the chances. Here at home, lost the time, of course. And boy, was it important that the Braves take care of business against that Washington club in the last 2 games. After a huge road trip, it would have been very easy after an off day to come back and be blasé about it. Belted right center field. Victorino, track wall, makes another great catch.
Putting on a show, isn't he?
Hit it someplace else, fellas.
Little bit of breeze blowing in from right center field may have held this one up. But this guy's putting on a center field clinic. Yeah, Joe Blanton, again, there have been at least 5 balls hit by Braves tonight. There would have been a home run in Philadelphia, in my opinion.
So it may not be so much how you pitch, but where you pitch in the case of Blanton tonight. And Victorino might need an IV before this one's over. He is been outstanding.
Like I said, they're going to have some fun tonight. They like running
Yeah.
left or right because there's more room to run here than there is at Citizens Bank Park.
I don't think Charlie's going to have those guys out shagging during batting practice tomorrow.
4 game through this series. And that'll be Cole Hamels and Kenshin Kawakami at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. Two balls and a strike to Yanel Escobar. It was his ground ball to third that turned into an error by Feliz. And then the double by Church tied this game. Left side of the infield popped up. Jimmy Rollins is under it.
With Rollins catching that pop-up, it bears mentioning that he has gone 61 straight games without making an error. He's only made 3 errors at shortstop all year long. That's incredible.
And this Philly club has been outstanding defensively too. Just 50 errors as a team, and only 25 unearned runs allowed as a team this year.
Their strong points, home runs, and defense. We've seen that tonight, particularly from their center fielder.
Three balls, no strikes to Adam LaRoche. Would Bobby let him swing the bat here in a tie game?
You betcha. The way the ball's being smacked against Blanton, didn't matter.
So a 2-out walk brings up Ryan Church.
First walk of the night for Blanton, and again he's kept the ball in the ballpark somehow, and that's been a key for him.
Chase Utley gives his pitcher a breather here. As we check the scores, Marlins 3-0 over the Rockies. Josh Johnson pitching in that game. Last report, Johnson had a no-hit bid through 5 innings against that Colorado club. That's real impressive work. Now we'll update that score. It is now 3-1 in the 7th. Garrett Atkins, a home run, the only Colorado hit. 1 ball, no strikes to Church. Blanton thought that was good enough.
Braves third in the league and 2-out runs behind Florida and Colorado, but they're not far behind Florida at the top. Braves with 230, Colorado 231, and the Marlins 233. Brian may have been looking for something else there. Took that one, looked like at the knees.
Ground ball right side. Utley from the cut of the outfield grass. And the side is retired. On we go to the 7th inning. The opening game of this series going very, very well. 2-2.
beers from around the world. Make plans to visit the world of Coca-Cola today.
Jair Jurgens has pitched brilliantly so far tonight. He has struck out 5 men in this game. He's walked but one. One pitch he'd like to have back is the laser hit out of the ballpark by Chase Utley, which briefly gave the Phillies a 2-1 lead. And here in this 7th inning, he will throw his 91st pitch to Jason Worth, who's a perfect 2 for 2. Worth, Feliz, and Ruiz coming up for the Phillies.
Remember last year how awful it was for the Braves in one-run decisions? They couldn't finish games with the absence of Soriano and Moylan. Gonzalez for most of the year. They couldn't hang on to leads. This year they're 19-16 in one-run decisions. 7-8 in games decided by 2 runs. So they have definitely improved there, largely because of the arms in the bullpen. So when it gets late, get a run or two and turn it over to the bullpen, and they'll take care of it.
And that's got to be a product, too, of your starting pitching taking the ball into the 6th and 7th inning very consistently, which was a huge problem because of injury last year.
It's the 6th worst one-run record in baseball history. 11-30, the Braves last year.
Worth goes down on strikes, and to a knee he goes. 6 strikeouts for Jurgens and a good start here in the 7th inning.
How about this? This Monday, August 17th, after school gets out, pack the family in the minivan and head to Turner Field to see the Braves against the Diamondbacks. The game begins at 4 o'clock, and upper reserve seats are only $1, courtesy of Dave Ramsey and 640 WGST. Visit Braves.com/Dave Ramsey today. $1 tickets, you kidding me? That's in the makeup game Monday afternoon. That'll be Tommy Hanson against Max Scherzer. Chance to see the kid vying for Rookie of the Year pitch, too.
1-0 count to Pedro Feliz. And that evens things up. Yeah, Rookie of the Year race, very good one. Tommy Hanson's got to be in that mix. Jay Happ for the Phillies has to be in that mix among pitchers. Liner into right. Church is there. 2 out. Jurgens getting a lot of strikeouts, a lot of flyouts in this game. Big ballpark. You can live with that against this Philly club. Don't want to do that in their park, as we've said a couple of times tonight.
Yeah, it's funny. He hasn't had a ton of ground ball outs tonight, but he got one when he really needed it in the 4th. After giving up a couple of runs, he already had 1st and 2nd and 1 out and in some more trouble, and he got a 5-4-3 double play. A lot of funny swings, huh?
Yeah, they don't know what's coming. And he's seemingly hiding the ball and deceiving those hitters with that fastball changeup combination, which has been so good for Jurgens in his young career. As we said, 6 punch-outs in this game. And now a 2-1 count to Ruiz.
Throws that changeup for strikes like that. That's what's very impressive. At will.
Now can the Braves score for him? Deuce is wild in a 2-2 game. And it's skied into straightaway center. Nate McLeod barely has to move. 3 up, 3 down for Jurgens, who set down 7 straight. 7th inning stretch time.
3 nights, one great movie. From director Steven Spielberg comes the action-packed film Minority Report, one of my favorites, starring your boy Tom Cruise. Now, you have 3 chances to watch, starting next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So as you wind down from the craziness of everybody going back to school and the work week, settle in with a great movie, only on Peachtree TV. We'll see you there.
All right, JJ, thank you very much. Chip and Joe with you from Turner Field. The night is complete for Jair Jurgens. We'll give you his numbers in a moment. There you see Braves first base coach Glenn Hubbard, who wants to send out a very special hello tonight to 10-year-old Braves fan Forrester Bradburn, who's been under the weather lately. Forrester Hub says, get well to you from the entire Braves ball club tonight, watching in Charleston, South Carolina.
We'll jump on that too. Get well soon, pal.
As Kelly Johnson pinch hits for Jair Jurgens, and this is a spot where Kelly's really flourished of late off the bench.
Big hits in L.A. Talking to some people with the Phillies before the ball game about the Braves bench, and Charlie Manuel had said, you know, I look at the Braves bench, and when you're trying to do matchups with your bullpen, these guys scare you because they're all capable of hitting home runs. And you like having guys come off the bench who can pinch hit and hit one out of the ballpark when you need it.
Kelly's 4 for 8 in a pinch so far this year with 1 run batted in. And when you look at this Braves bench and you compare it to the Phillies, Charlie's right, because he should know firsthand. He's got Dobbs and he's got Stairs from the left side who can hit the ball out of the park too.
And Stairs has been woeful lately. Kelly's a good weapon leading off an inning to pinch hit because he doesn't have to hit the ball out of the ballpark. He can draw a walk, he can get a single, and with his speed work his way around.
Both bullpens busy with a 2-2 pitch that just missed the inside corner.
It's one of Blanton's best fastballs. That was 90. Inside target, and that one was a 4-seamer that stayed in. It would be a rare sight to see a leadoff walk here. He walked LaRoche in the 6th with 2 out. That was only his 36th walk of the year in almost 40 innings.
Off the end of the bat and speared with a bare hand. Wow. Tough break for Kelly Johnson.
Yeah, if it had just bounced off his hand a little to the other side of the mound, just glanced off his hand, that's going to be an infield hit.
Well, maybe the bumblebees are buzzing as he faces McLeod, who's picked up a couple of hits in 3 tries tonight. As we take a look at our Longboat Key scorecard, brought to you by the Longboat Key Club and Resort. Plan the perfect summer getaway today at longboatkeyclub.com.
It's a nice place down there in Sarasota.
He didn't swing.
Good crowd here tonight.
Yep.
A little bit of a late arriving crowd, maybe because of Friday afternoon traffic, but it filled in nicely.
Big crowds expected throughout the weekend with these games taking on such importance. A lot of downtown events tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. So if you're planning on coming to the ballpark, Braves encourage you to use public transportation as McLeod takes a called 3rd strike. 2 men are out for Martin Prado now.
Doug Eddings has been very good tonight for both pitchers, calling the corners. Case in point right there. Looked like a good pitch. Only the 2nd strikeout for Blanton tonight.
Braves have 7 hits. Looking for their first hit since the 5th inning when they got a leadoff single from McLeod and then a sacrifice, but neither Chipper nor Brian McCann could bring him home. The latter play, that terrific catch by Victorino that had him splattered against the center field wall.
Well, there's no telling what the score might be in the Braves' favor if Victorino had taken the night off. Blanton due up first in the top of the 8th. Probably his last inning, too.
Toward third. Again, side saddle play by Feliz. This time he makes it, and that retires the side. Braves are into their bullpen. A duel between Blanton and Jurgens remains tied 2-2. Two is your score. We head to the 8th inning. Braves in their bullpen have Mike Gonzalez on to face the 9, 1, and 2 spots for the Philadelphia Ball Club.
Pitched in one of the games against Washington. That was on Wednesday, and was lucky to escape, not escape giving up a run, but escape with his lips. He had a rocket hit back at him by Josh Bard that he was really fortunate not only to catch, but to get his face out of the way.
And so Blanton is done, and Ben Francisco will pinch hit for him. And here's that play Wednesday night.
This was so close, coming back to him too. Fortunate to get his face out of the way. Scary.
And then the next batter in that game hit a comebacker right through the middle.
Yeah.
Mike had to feel like he had a big X on his back. He pitched well against Washington and now is ahead of Francisco 0-2. Francisco came over with Cliff Lee in that big deal with the Indians. One hit on the road trip for the Phillies by Francisco, but that hit a home run. He hit 10 of them in the American League.
If you are picking bullpens, if the game's going to be decided by the bullpens, you like Atlanta's chances. One of the weak links for the Phillies is their pen.
How about that defensive swing by Francisco into the right field corner? He's got a leadoff double on a ball that nearly hit him, but somehow he was able to keep it straight down the right field line and trouble afoot in the 8th inning.
I don't know how this ball stayed fair. High pitch, but it was out away from him, and he did get up on the same plane as the pitch, to his credit, and shoots it past LaRoche.
Well, we told you earlier the Phillies don't sacrifice much. This might be a shot for the 38th of the year. That's dead last in the National League, and Rollins didn't look like he put a good attempt on that first bunt try.
Some of these guys who don't bunt much, Chip, have to resort to bunting for a hit type bunt. That's about all they know how to do. Rollins has one sacrifice bunt.
Escobar talking to Gonzalez in Spanish as Francisco got a gigantic lead off the second base bag. And Rollins with the bunt. Only one play, and it's to first. So the Phillies do execute. Runner to third for Victorino, and one out.
It's not often the Phillies have to resort to small ball, as you point out, Chip. But good work there by Rollins, and now it's left to Victorino and/or Utley.
Infield comes in for Atlanta. Shane Victorino has single-handedly kept the Phillies in this game with his glove. One ball, no strikes.
A .311 hitter for the year with runners in scoring position. And 13 out of 19 are getting the runner home from third with less than 2 outs. Almost 70% of the time. Good pitch. Took a little off his curveball and dropped it in there nicely.
Driven a mile down the left field line. And now Gonzalez, who has not allowed an earned run in the second half of this season, has Victorino in a 1-2 hole.
His waist pitches, if that's what that was, are so wild, I'll say. There's no reason for the hitter to even contemplate swinging at them. He wanted to air that one out up and above his hands, but it was too far out.
Popped up. That's possibly in play. McCann has room at the screen. How big is that out?
Slider. And Victorino again on an off-speed pitch, tried to lift it, get under it and lift it, and Bryan right up against the railing. Makes the play. Huge out.
And now a real tough lefty-lefty matchup. Gonzalez and Chase Utley.
Who's 3 for 6 against him in his career, and good numbers against lefties, a .291 seasonal average. Careful on the first one.
High, 1 ball, no strikes. There's no damage here if you pitch carefully to Utley, for then you have Howard next. And one would think Howard would be much more vulnerable to left-hand pitching than Chase Utley.
He is indeed, a 193 average.
Popped him up. Chipper at third, fair ground. Now foul ground. He's got it. And the Braves pitch around a leadoff double.
Question from Home Depot. It comes from Charles Lewis in McDonough, who wants to know, after an opponent gets a hit, the pitcher will turn and point in the direction of the outfield. Why does he do that? Usually, Charles, he's pointing at either the second baseman or shortstop to find out who's covering in the event a ball is hit back to him so that they can start a double play. He doesn't want to catch the ball and turn and not know, so he's pointing at one of those guys like, which one of you two is going to be covering on a ball back to me? So that's what that's all about. Good question, though, and we thank you.
Well, the Phillies had a golden opportunity to take the lead. A leadoff double by Ben Francisco, then a sacrifice by Jimmy Rollins. 2 pop-ups by Victorino and Utley. Now sets it up for Atlanta's heart of the order against Ryan Madsen, who's got a very big arm, but has been hit very hard by this trio coming up for Atlanta in the 8th. Chipper Jones will start it. He's 2 for 3 tonight with an RBI.
He's had good career numbers against the Braves, but not this year.
Swing and a high fly ball right center. Did he get enough? He did not. Worth on the track. He just missed.
Oh, to be playing in Philadelphia tonight. Fastball came back to the inner third, but Chipper got under it just a little bit.
And as you said, the wind blowing across from right center toward the left field line knocked that into the glove of Jason Worth. Here's McCann. Bryan 0 for 3. But against Madsen, 3 for 8. You mentioned the bullpen advantage that the Braves might have against the Phillies at this point in the season. Keep in mind the Phillies have Clay Condrey, Antonio Bastardo, and J.C. Romero all injured. And that doesn't even include Brad Lidge or Jamie Moyer, who's available to pitch out of the bullpen for the first time since 1996 in the major leagues in this series.
He's not happy about it either.
No.
They only have one other lefty, and that's Scott Air. Chances of Jamie getting in the game, unless it's extra innings, are pretty slim.
Jimmy Rollins at shortstop.
And that's why we don't see Scott Air in this game already. You had a switch hitter and 2 lefties coming up. You would expect to see Scott Air here, but he's got to almost save him in the event there's a situation where the game is on the line, either the go-ahead run or worse, where he can bring Air in to match up with a lefty.
Well, let's see if Garrett Anderson can go deep. He was robbed by Victorino tonight and is 0 for 3. He jumps the first pitch. Here comes Victorino again. Terrific jump. And Madsen, a very effective bottom of the 8th inning. 2-2 our score heading to the 9th. delivered. Mike Gonzalez after 1 inning of 1 hit relief. Now the Braves turn it over to their closer, Rafael Soriano, as he'll face Howard, Ibanez, and Worth here in the 9th inning.
And that's despite the fact that there are a couple of lefties coming up this inning, Howard and Ibanez. But remember that your closer at home in a tie game does you no good to come in and finish the game, because if you're leading in the bottom half of the 9th or from this point forward, you're going to win the game anyway.
Well, you mentioned this Philly club, great fastball hitting team. They're going to see a lot of them in this 9th inning. And Ryan Howard 0 for 2 with a walk, just 9 hits and 38 at bats this year against Atlanta. And Howard thinking about a fastball, instead got a slider for a called first strike.
Soriano's given up runs in 2 of his last 3 outings. Both of those came against the Dodgers, including the blown save.
A 2-game swing tonight. If the Braves win, they're 4 out. If they lose, they're 6 out. Soriano wanted it, didn't get it. 2 balls and a strike. Towering fly ball center field. McLouth back at the wall, and Ryan Howard puts the Phillies in front. His first home run of the year against Atlanta puts the Phillies in the lead.
Rafael Soriano went through a rough patch a couple of years ago after the All-Star break and through August, where he gave up a handful of home runs, and he's done that this year. A home run to Glode that cost the Braves a win in Florida, the one to Ethier that cost him a win in LA, and a third one here to Ryan Howard. We'll see how it turns out.
But now we'll see if the Phillies pen can hold a 9th inning lead, and that has been anything but a certainty this year. If memory serves, last year they did not lose a game when they led after 8.
The Lidge was perfect.
It was 79-0. Now, while this technically isn't a lead after 8, it's a 3-2 9th inning game with nobody on or out for Ibanez. And Soriano makes short work of him. Raul out for the 2nd time on strikes. Brad Lidge is up. Knee problems have really wreaked havoc on his season. But look, you go perfect in saves in the regular season and the playoffs. There's nowhere to go but down if you're a closer. Now, there had been some talk in the Philly papers about why don't the Phillies go out and try to acquire Billy Wagner from the Mets to try to help out that bullpen. Wagner, of course, was a former Philly.
And he wants to pitch again.
Maybe back this weekend, in fact, for New York. High strike with a big strike zone, 0-2.
Got a bunch of guys on the disabled list with the Mets who don't really care about coming back and playing, but Billy Wagner's not one of them.
Don't tell that to Aaron Boone of the Astros, though, huh? There's a wicked slider. 2 outs. Aaron Boone, if you didn't hear about it earlier this spring, found out he had a heart valve defect. He had open heart surgery. He's back and playing in the minor leagues, hoping to come back in September for Houston.
Good story. Braves had success tonight against Ryan Howard, kind of tying him up. They had the big shift on for him, but they were tying him up inside, knowing that he would try to pull the ball. The mistake this inning was a pitch out away from him where he could get his arms extended. And it looked like the pitch was down, which he also likes. Slider. It came back to the outer third of the plate.
And just the look of Brian McCann, you could see his chin drop after contact was made. He knew that Howard got all of it. Ryan was not afraid to drop the bat and admire his handiwork. What makes him so special, not only can he hit home runs at home, but on the road, he can hit them to all fields.
Yeah.
And now 205 lifetime home runs. Soriano strikes out Ibanez, Worth, and Feliz, but not before Ryan Howard cranks a slider out of the park for his 28th home run. Braves have 3 outs to get a run or 2. It's 3-2, Phillies in front.
Might get hurt.
Steven Seagal, Fire Down Below, Saturday at 8 on Peachtree TV.
Well, the Braves have 3 outs left, and they are facing the Philadelphia closer, Brad Lidge, who had a marvelous run last year, and even Derek Lowe hoping to get the tomahawk working for the Atlanta offense. Even when Lidge, Joe, is pitching well, this is a closer that for some reason the Braves have always seemed to hit hard and hit well.
For whatever reason, it was years ago in Houston that they felt like he was really tipping his pitches that allowed them some success against him. This year against Atlanta, similar results. He does have a save against them, but 5 earned runs in 4 innings against the Braves this year. That's an 11+ ERA. Now, his ERA for the year is nothing to write home about either. 7.29, despite his 21 saves. He's 8 for 9 since he came back from the DL in save opportunities, but the blown save came just 3 days ago at Chicago. So let's see if that has a lingering effect.
Leadoff man awfully important. Get Lidge in that stretch position with Escobar, LaRoche, and Church, the first 3 due for Atlanta. Braves have won twice this year when trailing after 8. They would love a comeback before this 37,000 numbered crowd tonight. And a slider for a called strike.
He's also given up 10 home runs this year, and that's second highest among National League relievers. Kevin Gregg of the Cubs. He's given up more.
Line drive, foul past Howard at first. Escobar 1 for 5 against Lidge in his career. And Adam LaRoche waiting next.
Lidge with fastball, slider, and a split finger fastball. That was the split. He throws his slider a lot. First pitch to right-handed hitters as just a get-over slider strike. Did that to Escobar tonight. Let's see if it does. Maybe it does it to any other right-handed hitters.
Fly ball, right center field, well hit. Worth on the run, tracks it down. Boy, the outfield defense of the Phillies has saved their bacon tonight.
They're a good group, especially the guy in center and the guy in right. Lidge got away with a high fastball. Escobar smoked it, but Worth runs it down. Got a good jump on that ball.
Here's LaRoche. Adam 3 for 4 against Lidge lifetime. And one thing about LaRoche you love, not only has he been a second half hitter, 9 of his home runs have come from the 7th inning or later this year.
That's impressive. Lidge to get the ball up a little bit. Slider and split will both sink down around the dirt. It was a 95-mile-an-hour heater, but it was low.
Lined up the middle. 2 more hits for LaRoche. Will the Braves pinch run for Adam? One would think they will.
And Diaz, let's check out the location. Knee high, not a bad pitch, just that LaRoche spoiled it. And again at 94, break you right back through the middle, so Diaz represents the tying run at first for Church.
Braves have 14 wins in their last at bat this year. Can Church answer the prayers? Ryan 2 for 8 against Lidge. Greg Norton to the on-deck circle.
Good pitch, good sinking action. This is not the dominant closer the Phillies enjoyed last year.
Big hole right side. Diaz leads. Got a good jump. Fastball inside. Throw to second late. Lidge threw a bullet at 96, but Ruiz had to reach. And that gave Diaz an extra step and allowed him to steal the bag.
Huge jump, too, Chip. 7th stolen base, but a big crossover step, and he had 4 or 5 steps before Lidge ever let go of the baseball. And that pitch took Ruiz completely out of position to throw. He hasn't been bad at all throwing out base stealers this year. 31%, that's pretty good.
A hit means a run. Utley backs up at second, and a rocket pulled foul. Past Glenn Hubbard. Ryan Howard a step off the line, as you'd expect, with 1 out in a 1-run Philly game.
Might take away an extra base hit, but might also open up that hole a little more where Ryan can pull one between Utley and Howard. Worth with a good arm. Victorino with an excellent arm. Ibanez average.
2-2. And Church down on strikes. 96-mile-an-hour heat from Lidge. And it will be Greg Norton, the final hope in the 9th inning.
And upstairs with his fastball. Tried to do that to Escobar and almost got burned. Gets away with it there. Norton 2 for 6 in his career against Brad Lidge. Had a rough year, but he's been swinging the bat much better lately.
Boy, come on,
Down
North.
and in with McLeod waiting next. Braves have feasted with 2 outs all year long. Pop fly foul evens the count.
If there's been one problem for Greg consistently through the year, it's been fastballs. Catching up the good fastball. That one was at 94. He was a little late. So you're going to have to figure out a way to catch up to it.
Lidge has had a big heater in this game. Lidge nearly fell down as he threw that pitch. 2 balls and a strike.
Nearly fell down and still threw it 94. Although he almost hit Greg with it.
Good at bat for Norton. 3 balls and a strike.
Like a split finger pitch there. He was able to stop his swing. Here's a pitch count you like. Stay back, shrink the zone, make him throw it in the spot you love. Tee off.
First and second for McLeod.
I'm not sure what that says, Chip, but that looked like a 3-2 slider. A 3-1 slider, rather, from Lidge. A guy who has been dominant, knocking people down with strikeouts or with a split. And that looked like a slider. Almost concerned that he would make too good a pitch.
Omar Infante pinch runs for Norton. Importance there. A double, you might be able to win the game. As Nate McLeod has 2 hits, stands in. Fly ball, well hit toward left. Ibanez on the track at the wall, hauls it in. And if there were a play that described this game tonight, that sums it up. The Braves hit 5 balls that in Citizens Bank Park would have been long home runs. Here, they were in the gloves of a very athletic Philadelphia outfield as the Phillies take game 1 of this big weekend series. 3-2 tonight's final score.